We will wait for 5 more minutes, ma'am.
Good, ma'am.
We will start with the introductions. Neha ma'am, can you start with the introduction?
Sure, ma'am, sure. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to our sixth webinar or sixth episode of Holistic Webinar Series. On behalf of the DAV Group Health and Wellness Initiative, Arya Samaj DAV Prashasti, your partner in health, we welcome you all to this current problem or health condition which is prevalent around the world, that is obesity. And the topic is 360-degree view on obesity. With us, we have our first speaker, Dr. S.P. Preeti. She's a dentist and a stem cell researcher working in Japanese Institute, Nishi Biotech. She has more than 30 publications in peer-reviewed indexed international journals and several presentations to her credit. She's an alumnus of DAV and is a volunteer, and she's the head of the Prashasti team. the free medical guidance team, mind care team, and the yoga initiative of DAV Group. With us, we also have Dr. Amuda Varshini, a naturopathic and yoga physician who graduated from Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University, Chennai. She specializes in naturopathic treatment, modalities such as diet counseling, lifestyle modification, therapeutic yoga, acupuncture, and acupressure. In DAV, she leads the yoga division of the Prashasti Health and Welfare Initiative. And the third speaker for today would be myself. So I would like to introduce myself. My name is Neha Bhardwaj. I am a medical counselor and I'm currently the coordinator for the medical guidance and mind care division of DAV Prashasti. I'm trained in both child and adult counseling, and my approach is a holistic counseling which integrates REBT, CBT, and my core specialized area is making life easier for people. So thank you all of you for taking out your valuable time and joining us today. So without any further delay, I request Dr. Preeti to kindly start with the presentation, ma'am. I'll stop sharing my screen, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Neha ma'am. Namaste all. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay. So I am going to give the introduction on what is obesity, why do we need to know about obesity, what are the health problems, and why we have chosen this topic of naturopathic and psychological perspectives on management of obesity in a holistic manner. So this is a 360-degree view on obesity. Now to the audience, what do you think is obesity? What do you understand by the word obesity? Can someone unmute and say or put it in the chat box, please? It's in the chat box. I would ask Neha ma'am to read it out.
Yes, ma'am, I will, ma'am.
Can someone tell what is obesity?
Ma'am, we have received a few answers, ma'am. Excess
Yeah.
accumulation and deposition of fats by Prachi, ma'am.
Good.
Hima ji has written increased weight.
Very good. So you all know that obesity is something related to weight gain, or I think Prachi ma'am is very scientific, excess accumulation and deposition of fat. Very good. So as it's mentioned, World Health Organization defines obesity as abnormal or excessive fat accumulation, and that doesn't stop with there, which poses a risk to health. There must be some problems that are caused by this fat. See, fat in general is not wrong, but excessive fat and in the abnormal places in the body is a risk. And a body mass index over 25 is considered overweight, and only when it is over 30 we should use the term obese or obesity. And obesity has tripled since 1975. Okay, it is 3 times now. And now they say 1 in 8 people in the world are obese. Okay, so if 8 people are there in the room, 1 people will be obese, not overweight. So we are going to the next slide, wherein now I would request each of you to calculate, use your calculator also, your weight in kilograms divided by your height in meters. This is this meters chart. For example, if people know that you are 5'4", you will be in 165. Sorry, 5'6", you will be in 168. So 5'8" will be in 170. So can you all calculate and tell me what is your BMI? Weight in kilograms. If you are 65 kilos, 65 divided by in meters. So you can use the centimeter divided by 10. So 8, if you are 170 centimeters, so 17 square. Can everybody put it, please? Can you just calculate it? Take some time. I'll just mute myself. We will take 2 minutes for this calculation.
Ma'am, can you explain once again? A few of us have a bit of confusion for the
Yes.
calculation.
So just take the weight in kilogram. Your weight is, for example, 65 kilos, 55 kilos. That divided by height square. Height, many of us will be knowing only in feet and inches. I am 5 feet, I'm 5'2", I'm 5'4", 5'6". So correspondingly in centimeter on the right side is given. For example, if I am 5'6", I'll be around 168. Okay. So 168 centimeter, which is 16.8 meter. 16.8 into 16.8, you should first do that on the numerator. For example, my weight is 65 kilos. 65 divided by 16.2 into 16.2. Can you all do it slowly? First see the chart, calculate your height, then use it, multiply it twice, put it in the denominator. On the top, use your weight and use a calculator, divide. And if you have doubt, ask again. So is everybody doing? My BMI comes under 27. So I am in the overweight category. Okay. And I am receiving it in the chat box. It's 26.5 overweight. 24. Prachi ji 24.3. Healthy weight. Very good. Very good. So we will just give some more time. So just use your weight divided by your height in centimeter means if it is you are on 155 means 15.5 into 15.5. So weight divided by 15.5 into 15.5. Slowly you can put. We'll wait for 2 more minutes to just calculate your BMI to know whether we are because we tend to use this term obesity very loosely. If we are in the overweight also, we tend to think we are obese. See, I'm not justifying that being overweight is good. Being overweight, you need to definitely exercise and go for dietary modifications. But if you are in the obesity range, that is where when you have lot of problems, you need doctor. So this BMI is based on it's a world calculator, and Prachi's question is correct. It may be different for Asian cutoffs or the WHO, but this is the world generalized. Actually, it is by the heart, it is by the US BMI. It's not for the Indian or the Asian, it's for the US BMI. But still, this is how this is the chart which is used for pharmaceutical calculations also. So I just wanted to use that. Good question, Prachi ji. Nowadays, earlier there was a clear discrimination between Asian, the US, and the world BMI cutoffs. But over time, that boundaries are becoming very grayish. So it's generally used this way. So in this, if we are falling above the 30 BMI, that is when we need to be thinking that we need to take strong interventions to manage our weight. Being overweight, dietary modifications and exercise can help. We'll be seeing in the other slides. 1 more minute, we'll see for others. Can anyone, has anyone else calculated? Neha ma'am, have you calculated?
Yes, ma'am, I'll just share.
So we are seeing here. Okay, 23 Swati ji, good. 26.7 Neha ji, good. So yes, very nice. So we'll be sharing this also. If you want, you can use, and also if you Google it, as Prachi ji also mentioned, there are different cutoffs for BMI, but this one you can use for a generalized view. This is where we fall. So today's topic is mostly focused for the category of 30 and above BMI. So now, as I said, we need fat in our body. Okay. Fat is needed for heat generation to keep us warm. And also, our cell wall is made up of fat molecules only, okay, lipids. So for any movement within the cells also, lipids are very much needed. So we cannot just overlook them. We cannot say every fat is bad. No, I will not, I'll not take fats at all. That is also not good for the body. Even if they are overweight, even if they are obese, you should eat the right kind of fat and do exercise to maintain the fat in the right level or the right type. So there are three major types of fat tissue. You can remember white, brown, and beige. Basically white and brown. Okay. So white adipocyte is the one which is present in adults like us. So it is the predominant type of fat in the body. It is located in the skin, internal organs, central cavities of bones. Its main function is to store energy. There are other functions. It secretes biological factors also. Brown adipose tissue is more in the fetal life and infancy. It's located in the upper back, in the clavicles. It's to generate heat. So these are many mitochondria, and beige is between them. So white and beige adipocytes come under the white adipose tissue. And unfortunately, in the adults, the tissue which is accumulated is more of white adipose tissue. Now, we are coming to the causes of obesity. So every time obesity is just not because of diet alone. Diet is the main cause, but there are other causes. The majorly we can divide as poor diet, that is eating bad food or junk food. Genetics also play. If you have a family history of many people being overweight or obese, there's every chance that you can also gain weight easily. Psychological factors, very importantly, during times of stress we tend to gain weight. Environmental factors, if we are living in high polluted areas, and there are other environmental factors which can cause obesity. Sedentary lifestyle, metabolic factors, like when you are, again it is all linked. For example, when you have metabolic syndrome like diabetes, and then fatty liver, all that can also be it's like a cycle. Obesity can cause that, that can also cause obesity. Certain medications can also cause obesity. Certain medicines can make you become obese, hormonal medicines, steroids, socioeconomic factors. These are can be broad classifications. If you see the dietary causes and non-dietary factors, we all know eating excess amount of junk food like pizza, burger, donut, cake, cookies, samosa, french fries, potato chips, we all like it. Okay, everybody will love it. That is why it's like junk. We eat like junk. But still, when you eat excess of it, that will cause obesity if not managed simultaneously by good exercise. So lack of, in non-dietary, you can just parallelly see lack of exercise with sedentary lifestyle, prolonged desk work. That is the major reason for high increase in obesity. And eating a more amount of processed food than home cooked food, because these preservatives actually cause inflammation, chronic microinflammation in the body, and that is why obesity becomes a problem. Drinking sugary, sweet cold drinks in large quantities because they have empty calories. Eating food stuff like obesogens. There are some things like soya beans which are obesogens, okay? But it can also not be generalized, but they're also called obesogens because they can cause obesity. Lack of food rich in fiber. If you eat food which is lacking in fiber, then you may get obese. Eating fruits and vegetables without proper washing. This is a very simple thing, but we may overlook it because pesticides are major obesogens. So always wash your fruits and vegetables well. Then imbalance in gut bacteria, because we will see in the further slides how gut bacteria are very important. When good bacteria are more, you can actually manage your weight better. When bad bacteria are more, you'll become obese. Then excessive use of vegetable oil in regular cooking. Okay, so these are all dietary causes. Omega-6 fatty acids is good, but again, see, high omega-6 fatty acids is bad. Okay, then sleep very well even causes obesity. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
someone? Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
ma'am, you are.
And see, vitamin D deficiency. Nowadays, there's a lot of vitamin D or vitamin D deficiency in people. And that is another cause for obesity. So if you are obese, if you are, you are taking all precautions, you're doing exercise, but still you're not losing weight, you're not able to manage weight, check your vitamin D levels. If you have vitamin D deficiency, if you're not going in the early morning sun or early evening sun, then again you may become obese. Keeping hot food inside plastic containers, because bisphenol A, BPA, they say no BPA free. BPA is a obesogen, which can enter from the plastic into your food. Insufficient water intake over prolonged time. Chronic dehydration may again affect the adipocytes. Wrong eating habits, eating too rapidly, fast, 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 fast. Body is not like a machine, no, it cannot digest. And certain medications like antibiotics, painkillers, steroids can cause you to become obese, and some diseases. So these are some dietary and non-dietary factors of obesity. We usually think about food alone, but imagine these simple things are very, very important. Now, there is this cycle. Why am I telling about this cycle is how the obesity and the other factors are related, so that you can understand the relationship between eating, gaining weight, and how obesity affects the diabetes and liver, how it causes fatty liver. So what happens is environmental factors like genetic factors or environment in which a person lives. For example, lack of sunlight may cause vitamin D deficiency in some areas of the world, and other environmental pollutants which can have obesogens. What will happen is they will influence the gene expression. Okay, there'll be changes in the genes. Then, when the subcutaneous adipose tissue below the skin, there is this fat tissue which will store the fat. When it cannot take in more fat, that time those fats will be released into the blood as free fatty acid. Always remember, this free fatty acid is the main culprit. This FFA will go to the muscle. It will increase the muscle insulin resistance. Sugar from your body, sugar from the food you eat cannot go into the muscles. That will go to the liver and pancreas. So these free fatty acids first stopped the muscle insulin intake. So sorry, glucose intake by causing muscle insulin resistance. Then it causes non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So there will be deposit in the liver that is called fatty liver. Sorry, just a moment. Sorry, I'm just continuing. So what happens is then there will be increase in hepatic insulin resistance. So what will happen is the muscle also cannot take in the glucose. The liver also cannot take in the glucose. So all these fats will start getting deposited in the liver and the pancreas. That is the liver pancreas axis. Then glucagon from the liver, which is like glucose is stored in the liver. Okay, that is the place where it can store. That also will get released. Then, so glucose in the blood increases, it causes diabetes. And then there will be dysfunctional adipose tissue. The fat tissue becomes dysfunctional. There will be adipose tissue insulin resistance, ectopic fat deposition in your buttocks, in your thighs. All their fat will get deposited. It will really, adiponectin will be decreased. Inflammatory adipokines, those molecules from the fat tissue which cause inflammation in the body will be increased. There will be central obesity in the central part of the body. Then that also, what will happen is sodium reabsorption, sodium going back will be increased. That will cause BP. Now you know, by just this obesity, people get, how they get fatty liver, how they get diabetes, how they get BP, hypertension is BP, how they get high lipid or high cholesterol levels in the body, and this cycle gets continuing. So these factors in turn, again, this cycle will start. So that is why obesity is not one single phenomena. It will affect the liver, it will affect the pancreas, it will affect your entire body, it will cause chronic inflammation. And that is why this chronic inflammation alters all these things. It alters the immune system. Your immune system becomes weak. Always the body will be in a state of inflammation. There will be increased inflammatory cytokines, which always cause disease. There will be dysregulated cytokine production. So any infection, any strain going around, you will immediately catch it. That is why during COVID also, there was high death or increased risk of death in people who were obese and had these associated comorbidities like diabetes, hypertension. And there will be hypovitaminosis, like there will be vitamin D deficiency caused by obesity, and that also causes obesity, which will again increase your risk of getting systemic infection. In the respiratory tract, when there is so much of fat deposition, your lung expansion and contraction will decrease, your respiratory muscle will become insufficient. And when we have infections that need ventilation or critical care support, there will be limitations. Skin and soft tissues, there will be this chronic inflammation will affect the way your body heals. So there will be delayed wound healing. When combined with diabetes and other metabolic syndrome, there will be lymphedema, there will be blockage of lymph vessels, and that will also delay wound healing. And there will be diabetes, already we saw. There will be heart disease, again because of cholesterol and inflammation, BP, and all this together will cause metabolic syndrome. Syndrome means many diseases, many conditions put together is always called a syndrome. And actually, one thing which we are not taking into account is we all pop in tablets as such. Okay, we don't usually go to the doctor, get a prescription, properly, dosed and take it. We walk to the medical shop, we just get the medicine. See, every medicine's dose should be calculated according to each person's weight. If we are not calculating it, that right dose will not reach. If we are being obese, if I'm being very obese, and if I'm going to eat the medicines, if for example, I'm taking an antibiotic which is not dosed to my body, then the bacteria will become more powerful. There will be antibacterial resistance. When you get the infection again, the same antibiotic will not work. A very, very critical cause, but a simple factor like obesity can cause life-threatening infections. So obesity is not about the social shame or social features or social strata alone. It is about your entire body being upset when you have obesity. That is why we should focus more on obesity and how to manage it. A short video we will see. I'll just share my screen. Are we all there? Are we all there? Are we there? Can someone tell if you're all there? Am I
Yes, ma'am.
audible? Yeah.
Yes, you're audible. Thank you.
Is the sound of the audio, are you able to hear?
Obesity is a medical condition in which excess
Yes,
body
we can hear it, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we cannot hear the sound, ma'am.
or waist circumference. Man
Yes, now it's
with a
better.
waist measurement of 94 centimeters or more and women with a waist measurement of 80 centimeters are more likely to develop obesity-related health problems. Obesity is a chronic medical condition that increases your risk of diseases and health problems such as cancers, cardiovascular diseases, type 2 diabetes, osteoarthritis, infertility, irregular periods, non-alcoholic fatty liver, and obstructive sleep apnea. Obesity can also affect your quality of life and leads to psychological problems such as depression, low self-esteem, shame, and social isolation. Obesity is more common in women than in men. In 2015, the estimates show that 600 million adults and 100 million children were obese in 195 countries. Obesity is caused by eating more calories than you burn through exercise and normal daily activities. As a result, your body stores these excess calories as fat. Common specific causes of obesity include inactivity, having a sedentary lifestyle, unhealthy eating such as eating foods high in calories, lack of sleep, genetics, pregnancy, and certain medications such as insulin and antidepressants may also cause obesity. Moreover, certain medical conditions such as Cushing syndrome and hypothyroidism can also cause obesity. Symptom of obesity is having a BMI of 30 or more. It can be categorized as BMI of 30 to 34.9 is obese class 1. BMI of 35 to 39.9 is class 2. And BMI of 40 and higher is class 3. If your BMI falls in the range of obesity, the doctor will review your family and health history, performs a general physical test. The general physical examination may include checking vital signs such as heart rate, blood pressure, and temperature. Blood test may be used to examine cholesterol and glucose levels, liver function tests, diabetes screen, thyroid test, and heart tests such as an electrocardiogram. Treatment involves some lifestyle modifications such as dietary changes and increased physical activity. NBSV. In addition, weight loss surgery and weight loss medications can be needed.
So, whatever I said only, I wanted to just reinforce. So we know like above 30 is obese. And importantly, if you had noticed in the video, they would have mentioned that insulin itself causes obesity. So there may be some medications which we have been using to treat conditions caused by obesity, but in turn will again cause obesity. So how do we break the cycle? We have to eat real fat. Okay. When we eat the right kind of fat, you can promote fat burn, you can build muscle faster, you can curb your cravings for junk, you can supply your body with essential nutrients. And importantly, fat is needed for absorption of certain vitamins and antioxidants, which are needed again to prevent cancer and also prevent nutrition loss during cooking. So as I said, fat is good, but you need to know the right kind of fat. So what is the right kind of fat? You would have heard in all many advertisements, right? Unsaturated fats. So how to remember simply? Saturated fat means they'll be solid in room temperature, okay? And good fat is usually liquid in room temperature. Good fat is, repeat after me, liquid in room temperature, okay? And trans fats, the fast foods, the packaged foods, red meat, bacon, sausage, whole milk, and dairy products. They are all usually bad fats. And all this good fat and bad fat is more so for the adults. Okay. If, for example, in children, you should promote drinking milk because of other benefits of milk. But you cannot load your body with lot of milk. Okay. If you're drinking one coffee per day, fine. But five coffee per day, no, it's not fine. Okay. That's how it is. And but always go with right kind of fats. That okay, ma'am says olive oil, peanut oil, can I drink cans of oil? No, again, that also will lead to bad thing. Anything in moderation, but go for mono unsaturated or poly unsaturated. Mono is the best. Olive oil, peanut oil, avocado, certain nuts, they are very good because they promote healthy heart, lowers bad cholesterol. Vegetable oil, sunflower oil, then safflower oil, the next. Don't go for fast food, packaged foods, and meats. Okay, they are very bad fats. Okay, and WHO recommends that our 30% of the total energy intake, it should not exceed, and especially 10% should be this lower saturated fat, and then trans fat should be less than 1%. In one day, 1% only you can have fast food items. Okay, that is how. Replace them with unsaturated or polyunsaturated fatty acids, or sorry, fats. Now, common treatments for obesity, if you go to allopathy, they will ask you every form of medicine, allopathy, naturopathy, siddha, ayurveda, they will promote lifestyle change, which means I have to eat the right food, have the right exercise. That is the first thing in anything. Okay, but beyond that, if they are very obese, then they are with associated comorbidities, they will include a few tailored supplements. There are medicines, there is surgery, but anyways, we all know, right? Anything which is natural is better. So in this obesity treatment pyramid, usually with the lower obesity types and BMI greater than 27 or 30, they go for pharmacotherapy in allopathy, or else they'll use bariatric surgery. You would have known, no? They'll remove the fats. But imagine God has given you some fat for protection. But if you go and remove those fats by bariatric surgery, if there is no other way, then we'll have to. But if in any sort of weight, even if they are highly obese, if they have the proper mental determination and proper food habits, they can always treat it naturally. Don't go for surgeries unless it's extremely mandated, because removing the fat predisposes you to cancer. Okay, that, and it's got other problems as well. Okay, so and also, as I said, gut microbiome, always I come back to this. Anything in your body going wrong, blame the gut bacteria. So you should have proper diet, and that will only ensure that you have proper bacteria, because everything in your body is controlled by the bacteria in your gut. So the exercises, there are two things. Okay, there is psychologically, you should have a good behavior to continue the weight modification, lifestyle modification, and weight management. And that we'll be asking Mrs. Negha Bhardwaj to cover. And diet and physical activity, especially naturopathy, that Dr. Amuda will be covering. But in general, in other than yoga, if you ask exercises, these are the exercises, how much calories you will burn. Burpees is like full, the entire sequence where you will do a squat, and then you'll go to a plank, you will rise up, squat, plank, like push up. Okay, so that is the best for burning calories. Then jumping jacks come, then swimming comes, and yoga is very balanced. We will be seeing, you will get all the combined effect of all these exercises in yoga. That is why we promote yoga. Over to Dr. Amuda. Thank you.
If you all have any doubt, kindly put it in the chat box. We'll be taking up the questions at the end. Sorry, Amuda ma'am, continue.
Namaste all. Thank you, Dr. Preeti, for that wonderful explanation about obesity. So now I'll be covering how to manage and prevent obesity through naturopathy and yoga. So is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
And am I audible clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right. So moving on. So first, I would like to talk about what causes disease according to naturopathy. So according to naturopathy, we have three main points. One is lowered vitality. So in naturopathy, we believe that the body has an inherent capacity, or we can call it as an energy in layman terms, that helps in maintaining its good health, or the homeostasis, or just the general body health. Yeah. So that is termed as vitality. So if there's any kind of blockage, energy blockage, or if there's any kind of hormonal disturbances or metabolic disturbances, what happens is this inherent energy or the inherent capacity of the body to maintain its health, or basically that is vitality, gets lowered. So that becomes one of the major causes of disease or discomfort, or abnormality, that the body cannot do its normal function. So that is one thing. Second is accumulation of morbid matter. Morbid matter, we can also call them as toxins, like the unwanted substances which do not have any kind of nutritional benefit. They're not nutrient dense. They don't do much good for the body. They just taste good, and they're just, when the foods which we crave for are nothing but toxins. So whenever there's a craving which is coming in the body, that indicates that we have some kind of deficiency in the body. Okay, so that craving which occurs for some kind of substance is nothing but the cravings for toxins. Okay, so when these toxins get started, they get started to accumulate, what happens? It leads to a condition called as toxemia. Toxic is toxic substances, and mia is accumulation. So whenever something starts to get accumulated, what happens is there's an inflammation. Okay, inflammation is nothing but swelling. So swelling will always lead to a person look fat or look heavy. Yeah. So that is also one root cause of disease. And third is abnormal composition of blood and lymph. So actually all these three are interrelated. So when there's a lowered vitality, what happens is there is no proper energy flow in the body. So the pathway in which the energy flow is actually blocked. So because of this blockage, what happens is there's a lot of accumulation of morbid matter. And because of this accumulation of morbid matter, there is no proper, uh, passage for the blood to flow and the lymph to, just go back. So what happens is there is an abnormal compost. There's no proper flowing of blood and proper, uptake of lymph. There's everything get disturbed. So these three are the major root conditions due to which disease occurs according to the system of naturopathy. And we also believe that the body has an inherent capacity to heal itself. So what we will be giving in naturopathy will be basic lifestyle changes which will help your body to improve its capacity of that inherent healing. So we will not give you any kind of external substances which is going to act like chemical mediators to kickstart that healing process. Rather, we will be supporting the body through natural ways so that the body's natural energy to heal itself will start to increase. So moving on to the causes of obesity, this has been discussed in detail by Dr. Preeti. So I will just mention all of this in general. So first is improper diet. Yes, as ma'am mentioned, like overeating or binge eating, lot of junk food, lot of sugar, lot of sweet cravings. All these leads to obesity. And next is sedentary lifestyle or lack of physical activity. And then psychological factors, hormonal imbalances. Hormonal imbalances are nothing but your metabolic syndromes also. Yeah, so metabolic syndrome along with hormonal imbalances will also lead to obesity. And then imbalance in your gut microbiome. So your gut is actually the brain for your health. We can call it in that way. So if there's any abnormality in your health or if there's any discomfort in your body, you should always make sure that your gut microbiome is fine. So once your gut microbiome is fine, your body's function starts to happen normally. So you should always pay attention to your gut health because gut health is the primarily most important thing for normal being. And then poor lifestyle. All this contributes to poor lifestyle. So moving on to treatment modalities for obesity in naturopathy. So first will be diet. Like I'll be telling you like how you will have to focus on your diet. And then comes sleep and hydration. Two of the most basic but the most important aspects in which we will have to put our focus in order to maintain a good weight. And then comes yoga, then hydrotherapy, where, just by taking a normal temperature of water, bath or something, that gives you immense benefits. So I'll be talking about hydrotherapy also. And last and the most important thing is maintaining a good mental health. In detail will be discussed by Neha ma'am. I'll be talking about just the general aspects in naturopathy, like how we can maintain a good mental health. So coming to your diet. So I'll just be, actually, if you visit a naturopathic physician, you'll be provided with a customized diet chart based on your, everybody is different. So you have a basic metabolic rate, which will differ from every individual to individual. So when you visit a naturopathy doctor, he or she will be able to give you a customized diet plan as per your calorie requirement, as per your basal metabolic rate, and as per your BMI and the target areas where you want to lose weight. Yeah. So before starting any kind of diet or any kind of treatments in naturopathy per se, including yoga, please consult a naturopathic doctor, and then you can proceed with your treatment protocol. What I'll be telling here will be just the general outline as to how we'll usually focus on diet and yoga and naturopathy for obesity. This is not a treatment plan. This is just a general advice which I'll be giving. So coming back to diet, the first is fruits and vegetables. So always make sure that at least half of your plate or half of your meal is actually raw fruits and vegetables. Why I tell you this is because these fruits and vegetables are high in antioxidants and they are nutrient dense. Yeah, and they're also rich in fiber. So what happens is when there's this antioxidant rich food going inside, it prevents this free radical damage which happens in your body. So this free radical damage, which is actually happening in the body, is researched to cause it's one of the major root causes for obesity. So to prevent this free radical damage, it is highly important that we start to take in lots of fruits and vegetables in every meal of ours. And then coming to whole grains, like, quinoa, brown rice, oats, and barley, all these whole grains, they are actually rich in fiber. That is one thing. And the second is they actually regulate our blood sugar levels. So what I mean by blood sugar levels is not only for diabetic people, but also for normal people. Like what happens is when you eat a food, so there's something called as this glycemic index. So glycemic index is nothing but, like, say you're having rice. And then what happens is when you have rice, the rice gets broken down and the glucose molecules in it, it gets released into the bloodstream for energy. So the time taken by the rice to get broken down and to release the glucose molecule into the blood is called as glycemic index. And the higher the glycemic index of a particular food, the higher the risk of a person developing insulin resistance leading to diabetes and obesity. So you should always choose a low glycemic index food in your diet so that the risk of glucose spike, because your body needs time to regulate the glucose levels in your body, and it also needs to get prepared to utilize the glucose. You'll have to give that body the time. Just as soon as you eat and then there's a glucose purge in your body happening, and then your body will get confused, like just now she has eaten, so then there's suddenly glucose coming in, what do I do? So that happened, that caused the confusion to the body. So there will be a sudden glucose spike which will lead to increased levels of cortisol, stress hormone. So this cortisol, a stress hormone, will cause what is called as insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is one of the major causes for diabetes as well as for obesity. So these whole grains are actually low glycemic index food. So there will be a slow release of glucose into the bloodstream. So your sugar levels will be under control. Your glucose spike will be under control. So there won't be any release of cortisol. So always choose whole grains in your food rather than the normal refined grains which we. And next is plant-based proteins. Why proteins is because, again, they are rich in fiber. Fiber gives you a good satiety. Satiety in the sense, even if you have a small amount of fiber, you will feel full for a longer period of time and it will reduce your cravings. You won't have much of cravings. You won't, just as soon as you eat a food nowadays, like we tend to have something like sweet. We crave for sweet as soon as after a meal. So that is because there is no enough fiber in your food. So always focus on your fiber content, and your fiber content is present in your whole grains also, it's present in your fruits and vegetables, and it's also present in your proteins. So the higher the fiber content, the lesser the cravings. So you won't opt in for, I'm craving for something sweet, I want something sweet after a meal, that is when I feel good. No, that is not at all needed actually. If your diet is balanced with proteins, it will actually reduce your cravings, and then it will give you a good full or a full satisfaction of having a meal. And next is you should always avoid processed foods. Again, the processed foods, as I tell you, is nothing but all kinds of refined foods which are available in the market. So these refined foods which we take in, what happens is, as I mentioned, they are actually high glycemic index foods. So when there's high glycemic index, what happens? There's an increased glucose spike, sudden glucose spike. So your body gets confused. It leads to insulin resistance. So the insulin cannot go, and there are only specific insulin receptors in our body, specific number of insulin receptors. So when there is a sudden glucose spike, what happens is the insulin molecules can only go and bind to just specific number of glucose molecules. But when there's a huge number of glucose molecules and lesser number of insulin molecules, so there'll be a lot of free glucose molecules just roaming around in the bloodstream, which causes insulin resistance. Yeah. So this insulin resistance is the major reason for us to put fat on around our lower abdomen. The lower abdominal fat, which is developing nowadays in almost many of us, is because of insulin resistance, it's because of cortisol, and it's because of the stress. So these three reasons are the major root causes for us to develop this lower abdominal fat. So we will have to pay attention to your diet, and we should try and avoid these processed foods as much as possible. So moving on to high fiber foods. So why is high fiber necessary? As I've already told you, it's going to reduce your craving. It's going to give you a good satiety. It gives you a full feeling once you finish your meal. Yeah. So we have two kinds of fiber. One is soluble fiber and the other is insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber, in the sense, soluble means something which is going to dissolve in water. And insoluble means for something which doesn't dissolve in water. So for soluble fiber, some examples would be your oat, barley, apple, and carrot. Yeah. So what does a soluble fiber do is, one thing is it maintains sugar level, low glycemic index. Yes. So that's going to maintain your sugar level. And two, it is proven to reduce your cholesterol levels in your body. So cholesterol is nothing but when the passage of your blood, blood vessels, they get, accumulated with a plaque kind of thing. Blood doesn't go freely. So that is what is called as cholesterol. Yeah. So it decreases, or it prevents the formation of this plaque in your blood vessels. So that is why soluble fiber is very important. And insoluble fiber is present in whole grains, nuts, and other vegetables. Yeah. So what does this do is, it is very good for improving the digestion of our body, and it's going to prevent constipation. So in obesity, regular passage of proper bowel movement also plays a very important role. If your bowels are not normal, you are actually constipated, or you pass like very hard stools, or you pass like very loose stools, or you pass stools only like one on alternate days, or two or once in 2 days. That is not a sign of good health. Stools need to be passed at least once or twice in a day. That is what is a good health, and it has to happen very freely. And the moment you wake up in the morning, the first pressure you will have to feel is the pressure of your stool movements. So if that you're not feeling, that indicates there is some disturbance in your peristaltic movement. So to bring all that back to harmony, insoluble fiber plays a major role. And next is portion control and mindful eating. So what is this portion control? Is you can have like small meals at regular intervals. Yeah, like say, instead of having one whole plate of food, 3 times a day, you can actually split that plate into two and then have it as 6 times a day. So what happens when you do this is, it will actually keep your metabolism very active. Yeah, your metabolism will not become very sluggish. It won't go slow. It will actually be very active because you're giving work to your metabolism. You eat 2 hours, every 2 hours you eat something. So your body's metabolism is actually very active. So once you keep, at frequent intervals, you're having something. So you won't have that mindset to actually overeat or binge eat on something. So that is why portion control is actually very important, and also mindful eating. So mindful eating, how I would say is, like say, I have like 3 idlis. Yeah. And then after 3 idlis, my body tells me like, it's okay. I don't want, like I'm almost full. So that is your sign to stop eating. Just because the idli tastes nice, or, just because like it's the breakfast or it's a lunch, or after this you have a long work day ahead. So you want to eat one more extra idli or something, that is not advisable, because that one extra idli which you're having is what is going to put on weight. Because your body always tells you when you're having food that, okay, this much quantity is enough for me. So you should always look out. You should be mindful. You should listen to your body's signs. So you should always pay attention to what you're eating. So that is why they always advise, do not watch television, or do not, stick to reading a book, or even looking at your mobile, or don't, stick to your office work when you're having food. So when you're having food, your full attention should be on the food. You should chew it slowly, have it, slowly, so that the body sends you those proper signals, and you will be able to identify those signals and stop eating whenever your body tells you to. So when our body sends that signal and we ignore it, we tend to overeat. So once we overeat, there is again a chance of obesity. So in our Indian foods, we have probiotic and prebiotic foods. So these two foods are actually the major, they play a major role in maintaining our gut microbiome. So what are these prebiotic foods? I'll talk about the prebiotic foods first. So in your gut, we have gut microbiome. Microbiome is nothing but bacteria. Okay, so those are good bacteria. So they have to be in a good number. Yeah, that is when it indicates that your gut is in a very good health. Okay, so these prebiotic foods are nothing but food for the bacteria to grow. Okay, just like how we need energy, the bacteria also needs energy to maintain its number. So to provide that energy to the bacteria, that is where these prebiotic foods come. So for example, you can have apples, radish, cabbage, legumes and beans, garlic, onion, green bananas. All these are prebiotic foods, that is food for the bacteria. Right? And then come the probiotic foods. Probiotic foods are foods which have the bacteria in them, like the fermented foods which we make, like idli, dosa, the batter we make it to ferment overnight. So what happens when it's fermenting is that it comes out like a big dub, no, ubbi varadi we call it in Tamil. So that is because of the bacteria which is present inside. So these probiotic foods and prebiotic foods, when taken in good quantities in every meal, they ensure that your gut microbiome is in proper symbiosis, or it's in a proper state, yeah, proper adequate level. So once your gut is fine, all other problems or all other discomfort in your body, they come back to normal automatically. So some of your probiotic foods can be your paneer, your curd, idli, buttermilk, dosa, green peas, and dokla. Yeah. Right. So how do we plan a meal? Okay, so before going on to this, I would actually like to ask a question. So just a very basic question. You can put the answer in the chat box also. So how many calories, kilocalories, does an average adult or an average person need per day? Does any of you have any idea? How many calories do we need per day? Calories. Calories are nothing but the energy which is present in our food. Yeah, anybody knows the amount of calories we need? Am I receiving anything? Okay, 2000 kilocalories. Yes, that's a good answer. Anybody else? Okay, right. Yes, so Prachi ma'am was right. So an average female requires 2000 kilocalories per day, whereas an average male requires 2500 kilocalories per day. Okay. So when do you start getting overweight is when you exceed this calorie limit per day. Like say for females, we exceed, instead of having 2000, we go for 2200, 2300 per day. That is when you start to put on weight. Okay. So when you want to reduce your weight, what we'll have to do is we will have to be on a calorie deficit plan. Calorie deficit in the sense, based on your basal metabolic rate, that is what will be calculated. For every person's calorie requirement is different. Okay. So based on your basal metabolic, this is just an average number. Every person's metabolism will differ. So based on the metabolism, your calorie will be calculated by a physician. Yeah. So if like say for example, I need like 1900 calories per day to maintain my average weight, but then now I've gone overweight. So what I'll have to do is I will have to start having at least 200 to 300 kilocalories lesser than 1900, so that I can start to reduce my weight more effectively. Okay, so for that, balancing your diet plays a very important role. So in this picture, just imagine just this round shape is your plate. Okay, so you'll just have to divide them into a pie chart like this, where you'll have 25% of carbohydrates. The cellulose here is your carbohydrates, your main meal. Okay, so that will be your roti or your rice. So that comes as your main carbohydrate. 25% is your protein. Okay, so your protein can be your sambar, your dal, your paneer, yeah, all this, your soya granules, everything comes under protein. 10% is your fat. Fat is nothing but the oil, the ghee or butter which you use for cooking. And 40% of your plate should be raw fruits or raw vegetables. You can also include your cooked sabji, but preferably something which is raw will give you more good benefits. Yeah. So 40% of your plate should always be fruits and vegetables if you're looking for a general health benefit in total. Yeah. So this is how you will have to plan your meal. Okay. Right. So next is staying hydrated. So yeah, you can all put in the chat box like how much of water do you drink per day on an average, or how many bottles of water, or are you even measuring your water intake? Yeah, how many liters of water is everyone having per day? Can anybody put in the chat box? Okay. All right. Thank you. 3 liters, 2 liters, 1.5. Oh. So thank you. So actually, for an average adult, per day, a minimum of 3 to 3.5 liters of water is very, very essential. I will tell you why. So there's a research which is being conducted, which says that, when there's less water intake, what happens is your metabolism starts to come down. Okay. Once your metabolism starts to come down, you don't have that, there's an increased appetite. You always tend to feel hungry. That is not your hunger. Appetite is different. Your hunger is different. Okay. So appetite is actually cravings, and hunger is actually your body needing food. Okay. So what happens is when there's a less water intake, that indicates that you're going to a state of dehydration. So once there's dehydration, your metabolism goes very sluggish. You'll have to, water is like the petrol for your body, like how every engine needs a petrol. That is how your body needs water. So the more you give water, the more efficient your body's engine will be. Yeah. So the lesser you give, what happens is the engine starts to overheat. There is no lubricancy, and then ultimately it's going to fail. So that is how essential water is. So a minimum of 3 to 3.5 liters of water per day is very, very essential to maintain your metabolism and also to decrease your cravings or your appetite. And also, it is also proven that water helps in burning your excess calories. So that is also linked to the metabolism. The higher your metabolism is, the more efficiently you will start to burn calories. So always start to, try and start to have at least a minimum of 3 to 3.5 liters of water per day, irrespective of the season, whether it's summer or winter, whether it's very cold, or whether you're in a desk, you're in an IT field, and then you're sitting in an AC room all throughout the day. You don't feel thirsty. All that is like, it's not even a part of this. You will have to drink water irrespective of the place you are, irrespective of the job you do, irrespective of the season. A minimum of 3 to 3.5 liters of water per day for an average adult is very, very essential. And coming on to limiting salt intake. Okay, so I won't say like stop having salt, because salt is essential, but do not overdo your salt. Yeah. So what happens is when you have salt, it causes a lot of water retention in your body. Yeah. So the water, has to be excreted out. But when there's water retention in the body, what happens is your body automatically starts to swell. You feel bloated, you feel swollen. And what happens is this excess salt, it goes and forms a layer around your organs. Any kind of internal organs, be it your heart, be it your liver, be it your kidneys. So the more you have in salt, what happens is it forms a very thick layer around your organs. So what happens is that layer is going to put pressure on your organs. So that will cause the organs to malfunction, or it won't work that efficiently. It won't have the space to work efficiently. So this salt is going to keep putting pressure on it. So we will have to limit salt intake so that there is less water retention and the organs can function more efficiently. And it is also proven that the more we take in salt, the more our cravings start to increase. So always when you actually notice, if we start having a lot of salty foods, we will actually crave for more and more. There is never an end for this. Okay. So we will have to focus on reducing our salt. If you're having 1 spoon of salt per dish, try and reduce it to 3/4 spoon or half spoon. Yeah, that doesn't make a big difference. 1 or 2 days, it will be a little different. And the third day onwards, you'll be fine. So if you're looking to reduce your weight, always cut down on your salt intake. So next is sleep. Okay, so actually this is a image of a research which is being conducted. Okay, so you can see here 8 hours of sleep and 5 hours of sleep. Okay, So when the 8 hours of sleep is actually converted to 5 hours of sleep, or when it's reduced to 5 hours of sleep, what happens is your BMI increases. The BMI is what you calculated in the beginning of this webinar. So that starts to increase. And then you have two important hormones in your body, that is leptin and ghrelin. Okay. So the leptin is a hormone which signals to your body or your brain that if, now you're having food, and then you get that full feeling. No, that is given by this leptin hormone. Okay. And the ghrelin is the hormone which is going to trigger your hunger. When you start feeling hungry, that is when your ghrelin is secreted. And when you feel full, that is when your leptin is secreted. And sleep plays a very important role in regulation of these two hormones. If there's no proper sleep, what happens is leptin is going to decrease. That is your body's signaling capacity that to indicate that you're full with this food decreases, and your ghrelin will actually increase. Okay. So, when 8 hours of sleep is come back to 5 hours of sleep, they say that the body mass index increases by 3.6% because leptin decreases by 15.5% and ghrelin increases by 14.9%. So it is highly essential that we find time to sleep a minimum of 8 hours of sleep per day. Yeah. Right. So this is just an average sleep chart. Like for infants, like 4 to 12 months, they'll need 12 to 16 hours of per day. And then children 1 to 2 years, 11 to 14 hours of sleep per day. And then children 3 to 5 years, 10 to 13 hours. Children 6 to 12 years, 9 to 12 hours. Teens 13 to 18 years, 18 years, 8 to 10 hours. Adult 18 plus years, 7 to 8 hours. So manage your work schedule and try to sleep at least 7 to 8 hours per day. So next we'll be talking about exposure to sun. As Preeti ma'am suggested, vitamin D. Unfortunately, vitamin D, is actually high. 70% of vitamin D is present only in the sun rays, whereas 30% is only present in the fortified foods and the capsules which we take. So your body can absorb the vitamin D directly from the sun. That is what is more efficient. So the early morning sun around, like say, just as soon as the sun rises, like say nowadays it's rising around like 5:45 a.m. So around like 6 to 7, that will be your, early morning sun, we can call it. That will be the first sun rays which is going to fall on the earth. So those sun rays, and the evening, just before the sun sets, that half an hour, like, say around like 4 to 5:30 or like 4:30 to 5:45. That time when you expose yourself with, just minimal clothing or like thin clothing to the sun for a 20-30 minute time, it will actually give good amount of vitamin D secretion in the body. Yeah, so it will procure good amount of vitamin D. And what does this vitamin D do is it regulates the circadian rhythm in your body. The circadian rhythm is nothing but your biological clock. So this biological clock regulates your sleep, it regulates your hunger, it regulates your appetite, all your hormones, your metabolism, everything comes into play. Yeah, so your circadian rhythm will get regulated only if you expose yourself to sun. Yes? And next is sun is actually a very good mood enhancer. Whenever you're feeling down, go and expose yourself to a beautiful sunshine. You'll automatically feel good. Do you know why? That is because your skin has a substance called as NO2. Okay, NO2 which is present on the skin surface. So when these UVA and UVB rays from the sun, they come in contact with your skin, what happens is it releases nitrous oxide in your body. That NO2 gets converted into nitrous oxide, NO. Yeah. So which is actually a tranquilizer. It's a chemical tranquilizer, a natural chemical tranquilizer. Tranquilizer in the sense, it's going to give you a very good feeling. Yeah. So that is why it is very important to expose yourself to your sun for, normal circadian rhythm regulation and also for normal mood regulation. Yeah. So moving on to, yes, yoga. So yoga, this is just like a general plan for yoga, like Surya Namaskar. Actually, 12 rounds of Surya Namaskar, it provides a very good cardio workout, and it actually provides a very good full body workout because it actually focuses on all of your major muscles and joints in the body. Yeah. So it is going to improve your cardiovascular health, your flexibility, and your muscle strength. And then comes Virabhadrasana. So Virabhadrasana mainly targets your legs, your arms, your core, that is your abdominal muscles, and it's going to improve balance and it improves stamina. The more you have stamina, the more your metabolism will start to increase. Yeah. And then comes Utkatasana. Yeah, this chair pose. Okay, the first picture which is shown here. You'll have to sit on a chair without the chair being there. You just have to imagine a chair is there, and then you'll have to sit on it. Yeah. So that is it's a very good workout for your thighs, your glutes, your abdominal muscles. It's gonna to give you good stability and endurance. Endurance is nothing but the strength of your muscle. Okay. And then Naukasanas for abdominal muscle, and it's very good for digestion. And then Sedabandhasana is again for your glutes and legs. Bhujangasana is for your spine, back, and arms. Trikonasana is for the sides of your body. Yeah, the entire sides and your inner thighs, they get toned up. And then Ushtrasana is again for your entire body, majorly the front part of your body. And then pranayams like Kapalbhati, Bastrika, and Brahmari. These three pranayams will actually, Kapalbhati and Bastrika, they actually involve a very forceful inhalation and forceful exhalation. So whenever something is done very forcefully, they are going to release all your stress from the body. And especially Kapalbhati, it actually targets your abdominal fat region, okay, fat area. So the more you do Kapalbhati, what happens is that there's more heat generated in your body, which will help in burning of fat. And then Brahmari Pranayam is mainly for mood regulation. It releases again the same NO, the nitrous oxide, which I mentioned, that will be released when you practice Brahmari Pranayam also. That will also actually enhance your mood. Right. So moving on to the benefits of yoga, one is it is going to increase physical activity. Yeah, so it's going to, the more you're active, the more you're going to burn calories. And then it's going to reduce stress. It's going to, decrease the production of cortisol, which is the hormone responsible for weight gain. And then it's going to improve mindfulness. Mindfulness in the sense, the more you practice yoga, you'll become more aware of your body and the body's signals. So you will know when to eat, what not to eat, and when to stop eating. Everything will be, you'll be able to identify it in a more clear manner when you keep practicing yoga regularly. And then it also helps in detoxification. Yeah, detox, like certain posts in yoga, they actually stimulate your liver and your kidneys. So once your liver and your kidneys are stimulated, those are the major organs for excretion. Yeah. So the liver and your kidneys, once they get stimulated, there is proper metabolism happening in the liver, which leads to proper excretion through the kidneys. All right. So I just thought of giving an activity, but I'm running short of time. So I'll just move on to the next thing. So I'll just take some 5 to 7 minutes of yours more. So yeah, so next is hydrotherapy treatment. So as I mentioned, hydrotherapy is nothing but treatment of your body's issues with that of water, different temperatures of water. So mainly for obesity, the first is contrast showers. What I mean by contrast showers is when you're taking a bath, okay, either through your shower or through your bucket, you'll have to alternate between hot and cold. Okay, so we'll have to start with warm water for 3 to 4 minutes. And then we'll have to switch to cold water for 30 to 60 seconds. So like this, you will have to do it 3 to 5 times. And you will have to end with cold water. So when you do this alternate hot and cold, what happens is there is a circulation which gets improved. The blood flow throughout your body gets improved, and it's going to boost metabolism. And once your metabolism is boosted, the body's ability to burn fat starts to get improved. Okay. And then warm water baths. So warm water baths, around like warm bath, like you will know, not very hot water, not very cold water, not even neutral. You should feel that warmness. Yeah, warm water. So that for 20 to 30 minutes, you can actually add in Epsom salt crystals, that is magnesium sulfate, which will be available in the markets also, or any kind of essential oil like lavender oil, chamomile oil, orange oil, tea tree oil, whatever oil you want, you can add in those for additional relaxation. Okay. So these warm water baths, they actually relax your entire body, especially your muscles, and then they reduce stress, and they also promote detoxification, because whenever there is warm or cold which is going to touch the body, knowingly or unknowingly, it starts to secrete sweat out. And once your sweat is coming out, it releases all the toxins. Once your toxins is coming out, the inflammation starts to decrease, and so does your obesity. Right? And next is cold water immersion. You will have to immerse your body in cold water for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so this again is for your metabolism improvement, and it's also, just after you exercise, you're feeling this muscle pull or there's a muscle pain or something. For that, this cold water bath will really help, because it is going to strengthen your muscles. And then steam bath and sauna, all of us know, once we go into a steam bath, what happens is there is a profuse sweating which happens. So sweating, as I already mentioned, it's going to bring out all the toxins, reduces toxemia, and it's going to reduce inflammation, and it will also improve circulation. Right. So that is what we just discussed. So the benefits of hydrotherapy will be it's going to increase metabolism, improve circulation, reduces stress. The more you sweat out or the more relaxed you are, your stress also comes down, joint and muscle relief, and detoxification. These are the 5 major benefits of hydrotherapy. Right. So moving on to mental health, how to maintain it, like, to combat obesity is first thing is a well-balanced diet rich in fruits and vegetables. Why? Because the fruits and vegetables, apart from the antioxidants and nutrients and fiber, it is rich in tryptophan. The moment you have lots of fruits and vegetables, you will have a chemical called as tryptophan, which is released in the body. So this tryptophan will actually enhance your mood. Okay, it's a good mood enhancer. It gives you a very nice feeling. So the more you have fruits and vegetables regularly, the more you will feel your stress going away, the more happier you will feel. That is because of the tryptophan. And then maintaining a good gut health, as we already discussed, because we have an axis called as gut-brain axis. So this gut-brain axis, brain is where brain is dealing with your emotions and your mood. And your gut is also there. So your gut-brain axis plays a major role in maintaining your mental health. So for your good gut health, you will have to have in probiotics and prebiotics. Aromatherapy techniques like inhaling lavender oil or chamomile oil, all these are proven to release those dose hormones in your body: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin. These are the hormones which are mood enhancers. So these get released when there's aromatherapy techniques of lavender oil or chamomile oil. And then yoga practices like Brahmari pranayam, deep relaxation technique, yoga nidra, all these will actually release your stress out and give you a good mental health. Hydrotherapy, we just discussed steam bath, sauna bath, and exposure to sunlight. So all these are some of the basic ways through which we can maintain a good mental health according to naturopathy. And lastly, I would like to talk about Arogya Raksha Panchatantra, which is a primary preventive strategy. So this was formulated by Lakshman Sharma. He's a age-old naturopath, Indian naturopath. So he said eat twice a day. So what happens like when we have only 2 meals per day? I'm not talking about the frequent snacks which we have. He's talking about the major meals. Major meals, like you can have only breakfast and dinner, or you can have like lunch and dinner. So what happens is when you have only 2 meals a day, there's a long gap in between one meal and the other. So what happens is your body's energy, instead of being glucose dependent, it becomes fat dependent. So your body will look for fat sources to obtain energy. So as a result of which, there will be a lot of fat burn which is happening. So once there's a lot of fat burn, automatically your weight will come down. Yeah. And drink 2 liters of water per day, as we already discussed. It's not 2 liters, it was formulated age old. So now it's like 3 to 3.5 liters given our lifestyle. Fasting once a week, again, is for your metabolism, for giving rest to your body. You can't keep bombarding your body with so much of food all the time. You'll have to give your body some rest. So that is when fasting comes in. You can go in for a juice fast, you can go in for a fruit fast, you can go in for a lemon water fast. But before fasting, please consult your physician, and then only you can actually start a fast. And then exercising 1 hour a day to burn calories to improve metabolism, and praying or meditating twice a day, that is mainly for your mental health. Yeah. So with this, I come to the end of my talk on management and prevention of obesity through naturopathy and yoga. And through this, I would also like to mention that we are also conducting yoga classes at DAV Mogaper, DAV Gilnagar, and DAV Gopalapuram. You can actually contact this number if you would like to enroll to our yoga classes. And the fee will be 200 rupees per month. For further details, you can contact the number shown on the screen. Thank you all for patiently listening, and over to you, Neha ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amuda ma'am, for your detailed explanation. So, namaste all. Can I see you all? Can you all just say a hi or a hello? Can you just unmute yourself and say a hi or a hello?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello,
That is you,
ma'am.
Amuda ma'am. Yeah. What about others? Are you all there, or you are all just
Yes,
Hello, ma'am.
we are there, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
hello? Thank you so much. So now we'll be coming to the emotional eating to mindful living, psychological guide to weight management. So what is it? Why psychology plays an important role in weight management? What has all this got to do with psychology? Obesity na ma'am, aidutha ma'am, Preeti ma'am pesitanga ஏன் அது ஆறுதுன்னு. Amuda ma'am told that you have to do this. Why are you even talking? Why does psychology need to come here? Right? This is a question we all must be having right now. So let us do one thing. First, I will get a short revision. Okay, what did Preeti ma'am say? Preeti ma'am say that identify your fat. That is whether I am middle of the overweight or towards the obesity of the overweight. Which category of overweight are we? Right? Being fat doesn't mean we are obese. If I look plumpy, that doesn't mean I am obese. If people tell me my face is round, my hands are karlangatta mari gunda irukku, or my bum is big, or any such things that are told to you to make you feel low, no. Please, that is not obesity. Calculate your weight, calculate your BMI, and first you be clear whether you are overweight or obese, or you are healthy, right? First calculate that. Why? Because we need to be clear. If we are in the overweight category, we'll work, but we need not take tension that we are obese. If we are in the obese category, fine. It's not a big deal. The society doesn't need to accept me. I will wait, I will reduce my weight, and I will be healthy for myself, not for the society. This thought is the first step towards psychological overcoming for any weight reduction management. Whatever Amuda ma'am told you was weight management or weight reduction management techniques. But the biggest hindrance to that is psychology, our own psychology, our own set of mindset. And that is why this part will help you overcome your psychological beliefs and help you stick to your management plan. Okay, so let's play a game. All of you have played dumb charades? Have you all played dumb charades? Yes, no. Khela hai. Dumb charades. In every marriage, it's a compulsory game.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now you all will have to play a game of emotional charades. Okay. I will be making certain faces, expressions. Okay. And you have to guess the emotion. Okay. Are you all ready? So you have to immediately put in the chat box. Let's see who are the first people to do it. Shanmukha Priya ma'am, Preeti ma'am, I request you to keep an eye on the chat box.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, sure. Okay, so here comes our first emotion.
So you can stop sharing the screen so that your face will be more visible, ma'am.
Ooh, yeah, sure. Is my face visible?
Yes, ma'am. Perfect.
Yeah, okay. So let us have this emotional charade. So here is the first expression.
Stressed.
We get frustration and confused in the
Someone
chat
told
box, ma'am.
stressed. Who was it who told stressed? Yeah, tension.
Frustration,
ma'am.
confused, tension, and somebody said stress. And
Yes,
Prachi
and
has said
stress and
frustration
tension is
and
the correct
emotional
answer.
binge eating. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you everyone. Now let us go to the second one, okay?
We have got messages confused anxiety, ma'am. Sad is there, sad, too sad.
Yes. People who said sadness, yes, that is the correct answer. Now next. Yes, someone said anxiety. Yes,
We're getting
yes.
anxious and anxiety in
Yeah.
the chat
Now
box,
next
ma'am.
one. Oh,
We get bored and worried and bored,
exactly, bored.
ma'am.
Exactly. Now coming to the next one.
We've got
Frustration.
Yes, Prachi ma'am. Anger.
Anger and
Right.
frustration, they've told, ma'am.
Anger and frustration. Correct. And last.
They've got happy, ma'am. Cheerful,
Yes,
happy. Prachiji has said cheerful.
exactly. Happy, cheerful, right? So now coming to my question, why did I do this emotional charades? What is the link between this game and our topic? What was one common action that I was doing during every emotion?
You were eating every time, ma'am.
Yeah, I was eating every time. I'm sorry for that. Does this happen with us? When
Yes.
we are emotional, we tend to eat. That is the first point today. Our emotions are linked to our eating. Okay. We see food as a source of comfort. I am stressed. What will I do? I will eat a lot. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I will eat. I'm anxious. My I will feel lots of hunger pangs. I'll eat. I'm feeling bored. What to do? No other work to do. Eat. I'm feeling lonely. No one to give me a company. I will eat. I'm very happy. I will also eat. I will also give it to others. I will also enjoy. I will also think others are enjoying. I'm angry and frustrated. I don't know what to do, where to take out the anger and frustration. I eat. I am tired. I eat. I feel insecure. I find security in food. This is called as emotional eating. And this gets us into a loop. Just think, are we caught in this loop? You all know yourself better than anyone else. Excuse me. Whenever we have a feeling of emotion, right? What do? We run to food, especially which food? Food that are like the doctors before me told, rich in calories, rich in the bad fats. And then what happens? I gain weight. And after I gain weight, I feel guilty. I feel anxious. So I start dieting. Okay. But again, when an emotional thing comes in, again I run to food and I fall off the diet. And again I feel frustrated, irritated. Again I run to food. So are we in this loop? Are we stuck in this loop? Think about it. We all know our health better. I'll not ask you to put the answer in the chat box. Think for yourself. So what can we do? So here are a few psychological tips for sticking to your weight management plan. The first is, okay, I have put a few pictures. How many of you have seen that movie? Do you know the name of the movie? Have you seen this movie? If yes, you can put the name on the chat box, please. Have you seen this movie? This joy, this fear, this sadness. There was one children's movie for this. How many of you saw the movie? No? Okay. If you have not seen the movie, I request you all to see a movie called as, yeah, someone has put in the chat box.
Soumya
Yes.
Balaji ma'am has put us inside out.
Yes, Inside Out. And now the Inside Out 2 part has also come. Second part has also come. Please show it to your children. This movie talks about emotions and how to regulate the emotions. It will give your children an idea about what are the different emotions and how they can regulate it. Okay. And we as adults ourselves don't know how to regulate our emotions. The first thing is identify as a person, as a personality, which are your strong emotion. What is your personality type? Are you anxious type of personality? Are you cheerful type of personality? Are you someone who is most of the time sad? You yourself know. If you are unable to find out, please reach out to us. We will help you out to find your personality type. Once you know your personality type, identify the trigger. What makes you angry? What makes you sad? What other people tell you makes you feel low about yourself, sad about yourself? Means boredom. Boredom. What makes you feel bored? What is actually your nature? Are you the go-getter type, or are you the slow type? Identify your triggers based on your personalities. You can also ask your family and friend. If you don't have anyone, we are always there for you. and then channelize it. Talk to a friend, journal, do in activities that will relax you, listen to music, dance, do any artistic work. Understanding your own emotion is your first coping tool, and that will help you divert your attention from food to other activities. Once you know, okay, this is my trigger, I'm going to get angry. If I'm going to get angry, I'll need food. I'm going to binge snacks. So let's do some other activity. Rather, if I'm angry, I'll go out and cycle. Rather, if I'm angry, I'll go out and walk fast. I will divert my emotion rather than taking food as a source of comfort. Okay? Is everyone there with me? Can I hear and unmute and say
Yes,
hi?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Now coming to the next one. So what are the other ways as to how I can manage my weight? A few more tips to adhere to our weight loss program, to stick to whatever Amuda ma'am has told. Now the thing is, Amuda ma'am has told so many things, but to make up our mind to stick to those things is what we are going to learn in this part of the session, right? So first is set realistic goal. 1 month, 10 kilos I'll reduce. No, not possible. 1 month, 1 kilo I'll reduce. Maximum 2 kilos I'll reduce. Break down your, okay, total I have to reduce maybe 10 kilos. So what I'll do, every month, 1 kilo, in the next 10 months, I'm going to reduce. Don't cut down on your food. Like Amuda ma'am told, you are not supposed to stop eating. Only thing is you have to manage your eating. Reduce your rice, replace how much you have reduced the rice with proper vegetables and fruits. That is it. You should not starve yourself. You should not be hungry. And everyday focus. My goal is clear. I will reduce half quantity of rice. I'll increase the vegetables and I'll stick to any one activity like walking, jogging, yoga, or two activities. One day I'll do yoga, one day I'll go for walking, one day I'll do Zumba. It is your call. You know your mind and your body, but set realistic. Second is self monitor. Put down, write it down on a sheet of paper or in your own calendar. Okay, this day I have done it. Every day you do it, you put a tick mark. You follow your food diary, you make your own weekly plan. Okay, every week I'm going to have this food. No problem. You cannot stick to only one plan. I want different food every day. No problem. Stick to your ideas. Keep a track, right? Keep a track of your activities. What you do is you take a sheet of paper, put down dates like next 1 week. I'm going to do walking every day. Just put a tick mark after you walk for that day. And after you do it for a week, give yourself one reward. That reward should not be food, it can be anything else. Give yourself any one small reward. That, okay, 1 week I stuck to the plan. No. So, now that I have stuck to the plan for a week, now what I'll do is I will get myself a watch, which I have been planning to get for a long time, or I'll get my own journal, or I'll get a salwar kameez for myself, anything, right? And next and most important thing is mindful eating or mindfulness. So there is a Japanese concept called as hara hachibu, which says that if my stomach is 80% filled, I should stop eating food. In fact, Tamil, I'm very sure many of your grandmothers would have told you. சாப்பாடு கழுத்து மட்டும் ரொம்ப கூடாது, வாய் திறந்தா காக்கா குத்திட்டு போயிடும்னு சின்ன வயசுல சொல்லுவாங்க, right? That means you should not fill your tummy in. If I'm to translate, you should not eat till your. That's what my grandma would say me. You should not eat till your food comes till your neck, so that you open your mouth and a crow can take away the food from your mouth. You should actually fill your tummy up to 80%. 20% it should be empty. That is hara hachibu, a Japanese concept. Okay. Before I go to the next part, for self-monitoring, you can also use apps. There are many apps available online. Use an app wherein you set everyday goals and you follow it using that and get a reward for yourself. Okay. Now coming back to mindful eating again. Now tell me, out of these two plates, The first plate, which is to your left hand side, has more food, or which is towards your right hand side has more food? Which plate has more food? You can put it on the chat box as well. Both are same, Soumya ma'am, yes. Exactly, you're right, both are same. But to our eyes, the left one looks like it has more food and the right one looks like it has less food. So what we will do is, if we take food in a bigger plate, we will always feel that we are eating less. So let's trick the brain. Let's trick our mind. Let's play a psychological game. Reduce the size of your plate so that you feel that you have eaten a lot. You are eating more. Okay? That way, the 2 chapatis that you have in the night, if you put it in a big plate, you will feel you are eating less. You put it in a small plate, oh, so much I'm eating. So there are 2 types of hunger. One is the physiological hunger. One is the psychological hunger. The taste nalla irukilla. The taste good now. I should have a little more. So I should have a little more. That is what we have to control. We are not to control the physiological hunger. We are to control the psychological hunger. That is why take food in a smaller plate. That will trick your brain into telling, oh, I have eaten so much. Right? So that will help you to adhere to the harahachi food. And when you eat, tell yourself, super சாப்பாடு அப்பா உட்காந்து சாப்பிடுவேப்பா யாரும் என்ன டிஸ்டர்ப் பண்ணக்கூடாது. Unfortunately, we don't do that. We are always in a hurry to eat. Like Preeti ma'am was always saying, we are always eating so fast that we never relish the food. So psychologically, we are never satisfied for the food. So rather enjoy. Wow, what a taste. How many of us actually tell our mothers, இன்னைக்கு சாப்பாடு செம்மையா இருந்ததுன்னு? We don't, because we ourselves don't enjoy the taste. Right? So enjoy the taste. And like Amuda ma'am was saying, focus on the food. No TV, no mobile, so that we relish the taste. இன்னைக்கு என்ன taste இருக்கு, எப்படி இருக்கு, அதை relish பண்ண அன்னைக்கு half of your psychological hunger would be satisfied. Okay? Going to the next, the main part. So weight is not only related to your eating habits, it's also related to your stress. In fact, many of the women and men tend to gain weight as they go up the position, that is in their careers, because stress becomes more. Stress becomes more. What happens is the weight gain, like they explained in their previous slides, both the doctors, the weight gain becomes more. It is because of those hormones going up. So manage your stress. I have spoken in our previous webinar episodes as well. Those webinar episodes are available in YouTube link. You can go and check it out. So here I'll be telling it in short. Practice deep breathing. Because when you deep breathe, you get sufficient oxygen. When you get sufficient oxygen, the food that you eat gets digested and oxidized into your cell. Oxidized means it is absorbed easily into your cell because of the oxygen present. Okay. The next is exercise and yoga. Exercise and yoga is not only for weight reduction, but also for stress management. It will improve your good hormones. And these good hormones in turn help you digest your food better and reduce your stress. Hobby. Okay. Now, quickly, how many of you do at least one activity, one hobby every week? Please tell, you can put in the chat box, what one hobby you follow once a week. It can be gardening, it can be drawing, it can be calligraphy, it can be painting. Oh, okay. Painting, badminton, okay. I can see a few answers. Reading books, wonderful. That is also my favorite. Hema Malini, we both have common hobby. I love reading books. Okay, what else? What else? Only 3 people follow hobbies. See, that is what is happening with us. We have forgotten, as kids, we used to have lots of hobbies. But nowadays, we don't have hobbies. And what do we say? Time hai illappa. Yeah, we all say, we don't have time. Time nahi hai, boss, kya kare? Taking out that time is necessary. That half an hour of a week will actually carry you forward till the next week, that happiness. And when you have that happiness, automatically the stress will come down. Whatever is your hobby, hiking, swimming, whatever it is, cooking, please follow it. It will reduce your stress. And a me time every day, compulsory 20 minutes is your me time. Those 20 minutes, now I'll sit and drink coffee. Or those 20 minutes, I'll sit and read book. Those 20 minutes, I will sit and talk to no one. Those 20 minutes, I'll put earplug and listen to music and sing music loudly and dance. It is my time. This my time will help me regulate my emotions, will help me unwind from the whole day's stress or previous day's stress, will make me more productive, improve my focus and concentration, improve my empathy and relationship. And last is laughter therapy. Laugh aloud loudly. Watch comedy, compulsory. Another one prescription I'm giving you. I'm not a doctor yet, I'll give you a prescription. Take yourself some me time every day, 20 minutes. Have a hobby once a week and watch comedy and laugh out loudly every day, at least for 10 minutes. You do these three things, test it. After 2 months, your weight will reduce. Even if you don't do much of yoga at all, because that will manage your stress. But yoga is necessary. Don't take that you cannot do yoga taking this my words. Yoga will help you reduce faster. But the half kg or 1 kg that we put on because of stress, that will get reduced. Okay. Now coming to the next point, we should have a positive body image, even if I'm fat, even if I'm towards the overweight side, or even if I'm towards the obese side. Never shame your own body. You are you because no one else can be you. Or else God would have created multiple pieces of you. No, He has not. That means He thinks that you are important. So your body is also important. Trust your body. Please, today you all will take one mantra from here. Trust your body. You will say, I trust my body. If you say, I trust my body can lose its own weight. I'll do the exercise and my body will lose weight. I trust my body. Have a positive body image. Don't let others put you down. There are a few affirmations here. If possible, can you all unmute yourself and repeat after me? My worth comes from who I love and serve, not from what I weigh. My worth is not equivalent to my weight. My food is not my medicine. My food is a medicine, not my pacifier. I am free of emotional eating. I am free from the temptation to overeat. Please follow these things. Similarly, I love and accept myself with my current weight, and I will work towards my goal weight. I love and accept myself in my current weight, and I will work towards my goal weight. I am patient with my body and mind. I deserve to be healthy. I will not recommend you to go further in that term like slim and attractive, because slim and attractive is, I don't think, a right term to be used, but I deserve to be healthy. Healthy can also be, for some people, healthy can also be, they might look plump, but they will be healthy. They will not even come under the overweight category. Some people will look thin, but they will be underweight, unhealthy. So I deserve to be healthy. I feel beautiful and empowered. Make such affirmations and stick it in a place where you see every day. And tell it to yourself while you are following all the tips given by the doctors. It will help you stick to your management plan. Okay, so can we have one game now? Okay, I want you all to, I'll be flashing a few sentences and I want you all to write a positive sentence for it. Are you ready? Can we write a positive sentence for this? Sorry, yeah. And I'll be looking at the chat box. You kindly can put your positive statements. I can't do this. I cannot reduce weight and all. I cannot do all this dieting, whiting and all. I cannot do this. How can you say it positively? Can someone write? How can I say it positively? I will do it slowly but surely. Very good. I will do it. Yes, Prachi ma'am. I will do it. I will do it. That is the good thing. And I will do it slowly but surely. I can and I will. Wonderful, Srividya. So the statement, one more statement I would like to share is, I can do this with small manageable steps, like Hema Malini ma'am said. Or you can also say, I can and I will. Or you can also say, like Prachi ma'am said, I will do it. I failed my diet, so I might give up. I failed in my diet, so I'll give it up. So how can I state this? Yes, Jagdish ji, yes, you can. You can also say, yes, I can. Very good. Hema Malini ji, let me check for alternative diets. Very good. What else can we say? It's okay, learn from it. Very good, Srividya. So we can also say the statement like, oh, one setback doesn't define my journey. It can happen, right? One setback doesn't define my journey. I can get back on track. Or you can also say, like Hema Malini ji and Srividya ji said, I failed my diet. Like, yeah, Prachi ma'am, I failed my diet. I'll try again. Like Soumya ma'am says, I'll see where I lost and work on it again. I'll practice it slowly. Yes, Yarleen ma'am. Thank you. Wonderful. You all are wonderful crowd. Thank you. Healthy food doesn't taste good. How many of us say that healthy food doesn't taste good? So how can I turn this statement into a positive statement? How can I tell it to myself so that I stick to the plan? Make good recipes with it. Exactly. Nowadays, YouTube gives so many diet recipes. You should go and check it out. There are many tasty alternatives. Oh, health is wealth. Okay. Okay, Srividya. I'll sacrifice and eat it. Yes. And that is why I'll have one cheat day. Okay. If in a week for 6 days I'm going to have healthy food, one day I will allow myself one time to have a cheat day. That is, I'll have some food that I like. I'm not saying asking you to have junk food. I'm asking sometimes we have to control our taste buds, right? So we need to eat boiled foods and all. So one day, one time, I'll allow myself to have some home cooked healthy food, which may be fried. Okay, so we can, yeah, we can. I can find healthy foods that I enjoy. I'll never be able to lose weight. Oh my God, when we are going for this weight loss program, no, this is the first thing that comes to our mind. What if I'm not able to lose my weight? I'll never be able to lose my weight. This is a common statement we all make. So how can I say it positively? How can I state this, turn over the statement? Can anyone say? Let me try. Okay. Okay. I can achieve my weight loss goals with patience and persistence. It will not happen overnight, but I'll keep trying. It it cannot happen that I am doing yoga and I'm not able to lose my weight, or I'm doing exercise, I'm not able to lose my weight. I definitely will lose my weight. But for some people, within the first week itself, they will lose weight. Now I'm of the category, I lose my weight very slowly. So it takes, whereas my friend, she usually loses close to 500 grams to 1 kg in the 1 week, first week itself. For me, for losing 1 kilo, it takes close to 15 to 20 days. So I will try it with patience and persistence. Not everybody's body is the same. Exercise is too hard, right? We all say that, right? Exercise is too hard. Yes, Prachi ma'am, weight loss doesn't happen overnight. Like you said, we can also use Prachi ma'am's statement or Srividya's statement. But how can we, this statement, exercise is too hard, especially in the morning when we have to go for walking. Too hard, my body will pain. How can we turn this statement? We can try some exercise in a form which we like, or in the evening, or with friends. Yes, very true. I'll try some other, yes, some other ways like outdoor games and all, very true. Or I can start with small enjoyable activities and gradually increase it. First day I'll do only 10 minutes, or first week I will do only 10 minutes. I'll do it with the music. Maybe I'll do it with few of my friends and gradually increase it. Very good. I deserve this treat because I had a bad day. Don't we say this? I had a bad day. So I'm very stressed. I'm having a bad day. I'm going to go and eat something. Don't we do it? Yes, Yarlin ma'am, we can say for the previous one, slow and steady wins the race. But what can we say for this one? I deserve this treat because I had a bad day. Can we say so, or what should we say ourselves? When we have such thought, what should we tell ourselves? No, I should wait for a good one to celebrate. Good one, Preeti ma'am. You can also say, I can find non-food ways to cope with a bad day. To cope with a bad day, I need not resort to food. There are other things also which I can do, right? And this thing, tomorrow, I will start my diet tomorrow. Pakka tomorrow. Surely tomorrow. But that tomorrow never comes. So how can I, what can I say so? Let's not let's not be like day and be bad day ourselves. Okay. Make it next day very good. Okay. Today, okay. I will start making healthier choices now because tomorrow never comes. It's okay. I want to reduce my weight. I'm very focused. I'll start today. That is how our thought should be. I'm too busy. Oh, this is our favorite statement. I'm too busy to be healthy. I don't have time. Right? We all say that. So, what can we say? Instead of saying I'm too busy to eat healthy, what can I say to myself? I'm too busy. I cannot follow diet. I'm too busy. I cannot follow exercise. What can we tell ourselves? I don't have time. Rather than that, what can I say ourselves? I'll try with a good food every day. I surely have 10 minutes. Exactly. Every day I surely have 10 minutes. And I can find quick and easy healthy meals or snacks to do. Or nowadays there are this quick and easy yoga that you can do. So many options have come up. In fact, one of our programs, we have done desk yoga. And in fact, we have created a world record in that. Our students of DAV school have done that. So we can also share, you can also go to our YouTube page and Instagram page, you will find those exercises. Sitting on the chair itself, you can do it. Why not to find these quick techniques? It's genetic, so I can't change my weight. That is also one thing we tell, right? So while genetics play a role, I can still make healthy choices. It's in my hand. And the last one, I have no willpower. I have no willpower, right? So at that time, what I can say myself, I build my own willpower by making one healthy choice one day, one at a time. This week, I will only do dieting. Next week, I'll start exercise. Or this month, I will do exercise. Next month, I'll start dieting and exercise. The choice is always mine. I'll slowly build my willpower. And the next is visualization. This will help you adhere to your management plan. Visualize yourself in that healthy way. Close your eyes whenever you feel you cannot do it, it's too hard, it's too difficult. Imagine yourself in that way, that body, that shape. Imagine the confidence that you will get. Imagine you wearing the dress that you're not able to fit into. Imagine what you will feel, not what others will see. Visualization helps you adhere to your increase your willpower and adhere to your management plan. And persistent efforts work. I know one person, she's a very good friend of mine. She works with us only. She, for the past 3 months, 3 to 4 months, she did nothing. She ate normal diet. Whatever she was eating, she ate. She only did one thing persistently. Every day morning, she would get up and go for a 20 to 30 minutes. That is all she did. And she reduced 7 kilos in 4 months. Nothing she did. It was not out of the blue, only persistent efforts. And I really appreciate her for it. That is the best technique for weight management, persistence. You do one thing, but stick on to it, hold to it, and keep doing it regularly, and your weight will definitely reduce. You're doing dieting, fine, stick to dieting. You're doing yoga, fine, do yoga. Exercise, do exercise. Or one day yoga, one day exercise, whatever it is, but stick to your plan. Persistent effort, never give up. Even if she missed out on a day or two, next day she will again go. She will not take it as a guilt. Hats off to her. And last but not the least of this slide, so I'll take another 1 minute. Being obese is not easy. To stop the discrimination. How many times we judge others? That is why we judge ourselves. You know what we say to others, we also think of ourselves in the same way. பாரு எவ்வளவு குண்டாயிட்டா, பாரு இந்த ட்ரெஸ் அவளுக்கு சூட் ஆதா, see the dress is not even suiting her, it is so tight. Does she have no dressing sense? But maybe she's not able to find herself. How many times we judge other people for their weight, for their looks, and that is why we are conscious about our weight and our looks. And those people who are obese, they have their own set of psychological problems. They are abused. You know how many girls are sexually abused because of their weight? They are physically abused because many of their elders don't like them. In schools, these children are bullied. They suffer from emotional neglect because no one is able to understand them from their perspective. They are discriminated. You're fat, you're fat. You know, you go to a marriage, people like them are usually told, hey, you should do something to reduce your weight here. It's not good. And everyone will give them an advice. It becomes a social stigma. We don't know why they have weight, whether they are going through depression, whether they are under some medication, whether there is some other problem. No one tries to understand the problem and help them out. So let us not be the part of the crowd that creates social stigma. Let us go help them out. You don't need to help them out. You just listen to them. You just don't tell them they are fat. Help them to love themselves, however they look. Let's stop the discrimination and support them. Because these people usually, after a time, they will go into depression because of all the social stigma. They'll stop coming out. They will isolate them. Let's not do that. Okay. Thank you so much for your patient listening. These are our 3 helpline numbers. So the dais, we still have 5 minutes. So the dais is open for question and answers. So kindly ask your questions.
So, Nega ma'am, in the middle, there was one question. You had told that it was put in the chat box. So, you were telling about the emotions which lead to binge eating. So, there was a mention about happiness. So, there was a question as to, so should we not be happy always? Will that also cause obesity?
So it's not like we should not be happy. We should be happy. All these emotions, we can get anger, we can feel sadness, but let us not resort to seeking food as a comfort. Rather, do other activities, find other coping methods. Happiness, sadness, anger, these are all totally fine. These are emotions. It's going to be there in us. But the point is, find other coping mechanisms and don't rush towards food as your coping mechanism. There is another one, Prachi. Yes, Prachi ma'am, definitely that's a good suggestion for certificate for participation. We are working out on it, and from the next webinar onwards, we will be having a certificate of participation. If you want one, you register. Those who are interested, you fill in the feedback form. We will provide you within 15 days for a certificate of participation. Is any other questions?
Yes, ma'am, could you please tell about those children who face points on obesity, who face criticisms on obesity? Like, for example, a child who is 10, 12 years old, when the other child doesn't know that I am actually putting her or him down, but this child takes it seriously upon themselves. So can you please suggest the parents here to how handle that part?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. So the first thing is parents. I always tell all the parents that have a very good bond with your child, rapport with your child. Every day you sit in a table and you tell what you are undergoing in office or you are undergoing in your personal life. So the children think that it's not shameful to hide our feelings. We can express it. When you start expressing your feelings, your children will also start expressing it rather than asking them, because nowadays children don't like to be asked. We were asked in our days and we used to answer, but nowadays children don't like it. So they are like, "Ye tirpi tirpi kekara, why are you asking me again and again?" So rather than doing that, what we can do is we can we can start sharing so that they slowly start sharing. That is the first thing. Second is help them accept their body. Especially some girls, when they come to 8th, 9th standard, they tend to show the secondary growth faster than some other girls. So during that time, help the child accept it. It's okay. It's okay to look fat. It's okay to have secondary development fast. It's okay. But that doesn't mean that we need to live in this weight with this weight. If it and then help them check if it is really overweight or is it normal weight. If it is overweight, you motivate them, you tell them, I'm there, we will reduce it together. I'll come with you for all the exercise. I'm there for you. We will do it together. So give them that support. If you can follow these 3 steps itself, your children will be able to, if they have obesity or if they are facing bullying, they'll come out of it. They'll express with you and they will learn to accept themselves. And any day, you also have the support of the teachers. Take the support of the school teachers and the counselors as well. They definitely will help you, ma'am. But
To
these 3 things parents can definitely do.
Yeah, to add on to ma'am, whenever we find that, especially during the adolescent years, when children are gaining weight suddenly, we should definitely go to a physician and check for their hormones, check for their other parameters of metabolism, and if there is an underlying thyroid issue, because nowadays hypothyroidism or lower thyroid, or what we simply call as thyroid, is on the rise, even in youngsters, both genders, male and female. So that may cause a sudden weight gain. So whenever there is a weight gain, especially in the adolescent years, it's mandatory to check with the physician, find out the underlying conditions, and help the children, as ma'am said, both psychologically and with yoga, meditation, exercise, and proper diet, so that the entire family, and importantly, when there is a weight management going on in a family for specific typical overweight or obese individuals, the entire family should actually follow the diet, because only then they will be able to maintain the healthy weight. And by that way, when the children know that parents are putting in so much effort, the effort by the child will also increase and they'll be able to lose weight properly. But it's mandated to get the parameters checked. There may be some underlying issue, and if it's genetic, fine. But even then, genetic is just a predisposition. It's got high risk, but there will be something correctable which we have to find out and correct.
Definitely, 2 things. First is we have shared the feedback form. Those who are interested in having a participation certificate, kindly fill in the form so that we can get it. And also, your feedback will help us grow. I'm also there is one question in the chat, ma'am. How teenagers can handle peer pressure, social media taking over influence, idealizing slim figure, and getting malnourished. So yes, Prachi ma'am, unfortunately, in our country, the trend for the past 10 years, if you see any advertisement, the women or the men, they look muscular, slim, very beautiful. So yes, that is a very big stigma. But then we as parents can also tell our children there are many people who are successful despite their weight. And weight does not help you get a career. You will be defined by your passion, by your career, and not by your weight. And social media is one big problem. So, if possible, try to manage. You can take a counselor's help or your teacher's help as well. Help the children to come out of the social media. Many children are spending most of the time in the mobile, which is making them look in the social media and then idealize someone else to be their idol and go in for these very strict dietary plan wherein they stop eating for weeks together, days together, and they feel that weight reduction is important. Yes, so in those cases, explain to them that it's not always necessary that weight reduction is or slim figure is the ideal figure. No, there are many people. If you know, there is this who is that one famous comedian? He's actually dark and who is that ma'am? One Babu. Is this Tamil comedian, ma'am? Yogi
Yogi
Babu.
Babu. Yeah.
He's dark, he's fat, but that doesn't matter. He's earning in crores, right? So, and
Yes.
there are also many other, even if you look at the southern heroines, they are usually voluptuous. They are not slim. So slim figure doesn't make you famous or make you think. You will be always be defined by your inner core, and your outer body doesn't matter. That awareness, if you can bring in your children, talk to them. That is why talking to your children will help them get the right thought of ideas. Preeti ma'am?
And yes, to add on to ma'am, whether Prachiji is a teenager or a parent or anybody, always we should have the discernment, or we should have know to find who is a good influencer and who is a bad influencer. That type of discernment we should teach children. That kind of intelligence is what the system should bring in. See, anybody can become an influencer. Anybody, whatever we speak on social media can be taken, in any way. We can become famous overnight. But anybody in the crowd, they should be able to know whether this is going to be useful for our life. If yes, I'll take their inputs. If they're not good, we should go into our core and think, whatever they say. The social media, they may be, you may see that many of the social media influencers, especially on healthy eating, have been having heart attacks on the screen. Having heart attacks on the screen because of their, overly unscientific eating and other advices. So you should be able to discern, and now people are getting the ability to separate and see, but we should develop that capability. That is what is emotional intelligence is. So anybody in this crowd, first you should find that social media is always for the likes and follows. It will be mostly untrue what they are in real life and what they show on social media. So you can actually go back. If you think an influencer is telling something, you can go back and find out whether that influencer, without makeup, first how they are, first anybody without the filter and the makeup, first thing. Second thing, go back and read their history. What have they done really? Have they really been able to follow what they are saying? And where are they in the whole idea of things? So that is more important. And as Neha ma'am says, it is your inner core and inner beauty which has always won. And if you go back and history and see the great figures of history, they were not the most beautiful ones. They were the most strength, that is the stronger ones at heart. Even Cleopatra was voluptuous. Okay, Cleopatra, the undisputed queen of beauty in history. Now they have actually created her modern face. If you see, it's not lean. It is not lean at all. It's more masculine. It's more, so the whatever we've been defining after the invent of Facebook, WhatsApp, which is giving more access to social media, is not what was recorded in history. And slowly people will realize, slowly teenagers will realize, slowly everybody will realize. But till then, if somebody is body shaming, you see, they will never know what you are undergoing. A person may be taking antidepressants, a person may be on some medication, and that may be making them gain weight. We should be able to take in what is useful to us, filter out what is not needed, work on the plan which is useful for you, and leave everything aside. And if you have to place a strong argument to anyone else regarding the influencer, dig out their whole history, dig out the entire thing, and take strong points from the opposition side and then take it to them. Then you will feel, fine. But if they're not anyways, if they're very influenced by that influence, they may not listen to us, and that's none of our concern. That's my take on it, ma'am.
Thank you, Preeti ma'am. So I request everyone to fill the feedback form. It gives us an idea as to where we can bring in improvements in our webinar. And we'll also keep you updated about our next webinars. Next month also we'll be having two webinars, one on the mind care front and one like this about the holistic development. So if you have any specific topics that you want to suggest, that you can mention in the feedback form. And there, if you want to ask certain questions that you cannot ask in this front in a social platform, you can also ask it there. We'll get back to you within 7 working days. Please reach out to us for any medical related guidance. We'll do it free of cost. and reach out to us for any mind care help. Ma'am has shared the numbers. We will provide you for your children. It is free of cost. For any student, it is free of cost. For adults also, it is affordable, and those who cannot afford, we will definitely waive it off. So thank you so much for your time. Please do join us for our next webinars. Hoping to see
Thank you everyone for this patient hearing. Thank you, Amuda ma'am. Thank you, Neha ma'am. Thank you all the participants who were so active. Rachi ji, Soumya ji, Hemamalini ji, and Jagdish ji, everybody and whom I missed. Thank you so much. Namaste until we meet again.
Thank you, ma'am. Namaste.